Hey, all you 6th grade mathematicians. Let's do lesson 122, which is called Finding the Whole When a Fraction is Known. Finding the whole when a fraction is known. All right, so the first example it gives you is if the sports section is 20 pages long and the sports section is just 1/5 of the newspaper, then how can we figure out how many pages are in the newspaper? Well, first of all, if there are 20 pages in the newspaper and that's just 1/5 of the newspaper, all right, how many different parts are we going to have? We're going to have 5, right? And if the 20 pages is just one part of that, well then if we split it into different parts in pictures as the book does, I'm using boxes as opposed those kind of more horizontal things they use. This first one is going to be 20, right? That's the sports. But we want the total. We don't want just the part, we want the whole. All right, so we keep putting the 20s in. All right, so we put another 20. That's 2/5. Another 20, that's 3/5. Another, that's 4/5. And then finally, 5/5 or the whole thing. What do we have? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So that is how many total pages there are. Another way of doing that is simply multiplying 5 by 20. All right. So what about the other example? It gives a bit more complicated. It says 3/8 of the town has voted and there were 120 voters, and how many people are in the town? All right, so first of all, 3/8. So how many parts are we going to have? We're going to have 8. How many voted? 3 of those. So, and we know the whole of the people who voted anyway, 120. So we have to split 120 into 3 groups. Another way of asking that is 120 divided by 3. You can do that multiple ways. You can do it the long form of dividing, perfectly fine. You can, simplify. This is how I would think it, but I don't know how you may think this. I know that 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then I add a 0 because we're looking for the tens place, not the ones place, and we get 40, right? So, and that's what it is. That's what 120 divided by 3 is. It's 40. So we now know that each one of these boxes, each one of these 8 boxes, we're going to have a 40 in it. All right. So we know that 3 of those equal 120, but let's put 40 in all of them because we want to know how many people are in this entire town. And so if we added 40 together 8 times, or simply saying 40 times 8, as the book gives you, is 320. You could do that the long form or add them all up, but it just gives you the answer. You can obviously check your work by adding them all together pretty easily. Now let's look at the practice. First one, it says 5 is 1/4 of what? 5 is 1/4 of what? All right. How do we start here? We're looking for a whole. We have a part. We're looking for the whole. 5 is 1/4 of what? How do we start? Well, how about multiplying 5 times 4, right? Because we know that 5 is part of something, but we don't know what it is. And 5 times 4 is 20. Equals 20. How can we check it? 20 divided by 4 equals 5. All right. So, yeah, 4 5s is 20. All right. So 1/4. 5 is 1/4 of 20. All right. 1/4 of 20 is 5. That's how you would solve that one. Relatively simple. You can use pictures to help you. It's a good way. Now do the practice and then the homework set. Thanks.